For decades, small towns in the United States have been romanticized as the heart of the country. Families believed that moving to a small town meant a slower pace of life, safer streets, affordable homes, and a sense of community that cities could not provide. Movies, television, and literature often depicted small-town life as ideal. Neighbors, helping neighbors, kids playing outside, and traditions handed down through generations. People imagined a life without the noise, congestion, and stress of metropolitan areas. Yet today, small-town life in America is changing in ways that are subtle, complex, and, in some cases, alarming. Families, young adults, retirees, and local businesses are all facing challenges that previous generations never experienced. The truth is that many small towns are no longer what they used to be. They face declining populations, economic pressures, limited opportunities, and social changes that quietly erode the idyllic lifestyle that people once associated with them. This is not to say that all small towns are failing, or that they no longer have value. Some towns are adapting, innovating, and thriving. However, the pattern of decline and change is widespread enough to impact millions of Americans and is reshaping the perception of small-town life across the country. The illusion of affordability. One of the main reasons people move to small towns is affordability. Homes are cheaper, rent is lower, and general living costs appear manageable. On the surface, small-town living seems like a way to escape rising costs in cities. However, this perception often overlooks hidden expenses that are unique to small-town life. While housing prices may be lower, other costs often rise in subtle ways. Transportation becomes necessary for nearly every task, from commuting to work to accessing basic services. Gas, vehicle, maintenance, and long drives add up over time. Healthcare is often farther away and more expensive due to limited competition and fewer local providers. Even groceries and daily necessities may cost more because smaller towns lack large supermarkets or wholesale retailers. The balance that once made small towns affordable is shifting. Many families discovered that while their mortgage or rent is lower, other costs quietly accumulate, challenging the very financial advantages that drew them there in the first place. Employment challenges. Historically, small towns were often built around specific industries: manufacturing, mining, agriculture, or local services. In many cases, these industries provided stable employment and a clear path for career growth. Today, the economic landscape has changed. Many small towns struggle with declining industries, automation, and the outsourcing of jobs. Young adults face limited opportunities when they graduate from high school or college. Entry-level positions often offer low wages, and mid-career advancement is difficult. Professionals with specialized skills may find that their options are few, forcing them to move to larger cities or suburban areas to continue growing their careers. Even those who remain employed in a small town often face the challenge of wage stagnation. While costs may be lower in some respects, stagnant wages can make long-term financial planning difficult. Retirement savings, emergency funds, and investments all require consistent income, which is not always guaranteed in these communities. Population decline and its impact as opportunities shrink and costs rise. Many residents quietly leave small towns. This exodus is slow, subtle, and often unnoticed at first. A family here, a young adult there. Until over several years, population numbers start to decline significantly. Population decline has a direct impact on local economies. Schools may face closures or consolidation due to low enrollment. Local businesses experience fewer customers, which can force them to close. Property values may stagnate or even decrease, making it harder for remaining residents to sell their homes. Social life also changes. Community events may diminish, volunteer participation may drop, and neighborhoods feel less connected. Long-standing traditions and celebrations may disappear. While small towns retain charm and history, the dynamic and vibrancy that once defined them often fades. Healthcare limitations. Healthcare access is another critical factor affecting small-town life today. Hospitals, clinics, and specialized medical services are often located far from rural areas. Many small towns have only basic facilities, forcing residents to drive significant distances for serious medical care. This challenge is especially pronounced for seniors and families with young children. Chronic illnesses require regular monitoring, specialists are not always available locally, and emergency care can be delayed due to distance. Even preventative care and routine medical visits become more complicated. Families must plan ahead, which creates stress, financial strain, and added logistical challenges. For many, these healthcare limitations are a major reason to reconsider long-term life in a small town. Education and the next generation for families. Education is often a deciding factor in whether to stay in a small town. Schools may struggle with funding, staff shortages, and limited programs. While dedicated teachers work hard to provide quality education, resources can be scarce. Advanced classes, extracurricular activities, and college preparation programs are often less robust than in larger districts. Students who want specialized opportunities in STEM, arts, or athletics may feel limited by the local offerings. Parents face a difficult choice. Remain in a small town for financial or lifestyle reasons, but accept the limitations in education, or move to areas with better school systems to give their children more opportunities. This choice often drives families to leave quietly, contributing to population decline and altering the fabric of the community. Social life and isolation. Small towns offer tight-knit communities, but they can also feel isolating. Social circles are smaller, and newcomers may feel like outsiders. Cultural diversity is often limited, which can make it difficult for residents who do not fit the traditional mold. Isolation is not only emotional, but practical. Limited recreational options, entertainment venues, and social events can make everyday life feel stagnant. For young adults, social isolation can accelerate the decision to leave. For seniors, it can compound feelings of loneliness. Mental health support is often limited in small towns. Counseling services, support groups, and community programs may not exist or be difficult to access. The hidden emotional cost of small-town living can quietly affect residents' well-being over time. Technology and infrastructure challenges. Modern life is increasingly digital, and small towns often lag behind in infrastructure. Internet speeds may be slow, mobile coverage may be unreliable, and technological investment may be minimal. Remote work, online education, and digital services are becoming standard expectations. When a small town cannot meet these demands, residents face practical challenges that affect daily life and career growth. Infrastructure issues extend beyond technology. Roads, utilities, and public services may be aging or underfunded. Emergency services may be slower due to staffing shortages or long distances. These subtle challenges contribute to the hidden costs of small-town living. Changing demographics and community shifts. Small towns are aging as younger residents leave. Seniors make up a growing portion of the population, and the social dynamic shifts. Schools shrink. Local events change, and businesses must adapt to different needs. Cultural shifts also occur as demographics evolve. Newcomers may bring fresh energy, but integrating into traditional communities can be difficult. The balance between preserving small-town charm and embracing change is delicate, and not all towns succeed. The quiet departure. One of the most striking aspects of this change is its quiet nature. Residents do not leave with headlines or announcements. Families move without fanfare. Young adults graduate and relocate without ceremony. Businesses close quietly. This slow, invisible departure can create the illusion that life in a small town is unchanged. However, over a decade or more, the impact is significant. Population decline, economic challenges, and social change accumulate, subtly altering the character of the town. Why people still stay. Despite these challenges, millions of Americans remain in small towns. They value peace, safety, lower crime rates, open spaces, and a slower pace of life. Some have deep family ties, property investments, or personal attachments that make leaving difficult. For those whose work is location independent or who value lifestyle over career advancement, small towns still provide an attractive option. For others, staying is a choice born of necessity, not preference. Next, we will explore the future of small towns, including how towns are adapting to modern life, the stories of residents who stay or leave, retirees, young adults, and families' perspectives, economic opportunities for revival, the ultimate truth. Is small-town life worth it today? We explored how small towns in the United States are quietly changing. We discussed affordability myths, employment challenges, population decline, healthcare limitations, education issues, social isolation, and infrastructure problems. In Part 2, we will examine the future of small towns, the people who remain, the strategies some towns use to survive, and what life truly looks like today. Adapting to change. Towns that are thriving while many small towns face decline. Some are finding ways to adapt and even thrive. These towns often embrace modern technology, invest in infrastructure, and create opportunities to attract young residents and professionals. For example, some towns are upgrading internet and mobile services to attract remote workers. Others are offering incentives for small businesses to open, helping create local employment. Tourism is another key strategy, with historic districts, festivals, and natural attractions drawing visitors and new residents. Towns that innovate create a positive cycle. Businesses thrive, families stay, and the community becomes vibrant again. These examples show that small towns are not doomed, they are simply evolving to meet modern challenges. The role of remote work. Remote work has become a game changer for small towns. The ability to work from anywhere allows professionals to enjoy small town life while maintaining high-paying city jobs. However, not every town is equipped for remote workers. Reliable, high-speed internet, co-working spaces, and community networking opportunities are essential. Towns that invest in these amenities can attract a younger, skilled population, reversing the trend of population decline. Remote work also brings cultural and economic diversity. Newcomers may bring different perspectives, skills, and entrepreneurial energy, helping revitalize the local economy. Retirees in small towns. Retirees have long been drawn to small towns for affordability and tranquility. Today, many retirees still find value in small town living, but they are more cautious. Healthcare access, recreational amenities, and social opportunities weigh heavily in their decisions. Retirees often research extensively before moving, balancing affordability with convenience and quality of life. Towns that cater to retirees by providing medical access, social programs, and community engagement see an influx of older residents. The retiree population can contribute positively to small towns by volunteering, supporting local businesses, and stabilizing communities. However, an aging population also requires careful planning for healthcare and infrastructure needs. Young adults. The key to small town revitalization, young adults are critical to the future of small towns. Without them, towns cannot sustain schools, businesses, or community services. Attracting young families requires jobs, cultural opportunities, and quality education. Towns that invest in these areas see growth. Innovative small towns create local startups, promote remote work hubs, and support creative industries. These efforts can reverse the brain drain that has left many small towns struggling. Communities that actively engage young adults also see social benefits. Youth involvement in local government, community projects, and cultural events helps maintain the vibrancy of small town life, the emotional reality of leaving. For those who leave, the decision is rarely easy. Small towns are tied to family history, personal memories, and emotional roots. Leaving often feels like a loss, even when it is the rational choice. Many residents experience mixed emotions: relief at moving for better opportunities, sadness at leaving familiar streets, and anxiety about adapting to new communities. The departure of neighbors and friends also impacts those who remain, creating a sense of quiet grief within the town. Understanding this emotional reality is key to recognizing why small towns change gradually rather than suddenly. Families making hard choices. Families often leave small towns to secure better futures for their children. Education, quality, extracurricular opportunities, and social networks are significant factors. Even families that appreciate the slower pace of life must weigh these benefits against long-term opportunities. Parents want their children to access diverse career paths, higher education, and social mobility. When small towns cannot provide this, leaving becomes a necessary choice, not an optional one. The departure of families impacts the social structure of the town. Schools may close, sports teams dissolve, and community events dwindle, creating a reinforcing cycle of decline. The economic landscape of small towns today economically. Small towns face challenges that cities do not. Job markets are often limited to a few industries. Wages are lower. Benefits may be minimal. These factors influence decisions to stay or leave. Small businesses face competition from online shopping and regional chains, Without enough customers, many cannot survive. Empty storefronts become visible reminders of economic struggle. Property values fluctuate, sometimes declining as population decreases. While real estate may seem affordable for newcomers, selling a home in a declining town can be difficult, creating financial traps. The role of community and culture. Despite these challenges, community culture remains a vital element of small town life. Long-standing traditions, festivals, and volunteer networks create strong social bonds. Residents who value these aspects often find ways to adapt rather than leave. Community organizations, local clubs, and social events provide a sense of purpose and belonging. However, as populations decline, sustaining these cultural pillars becomes harder. Participation drops, traditions fade, and new residents may struggle to integrate. The dynamic of community changes alongside the population, requiring ongoing effort to preserve cohesion. Infrastructure and access to services. Small towns face practical limitations that influence daily life. Roads may be older, public transportation limited, and public services underfunded. Utilities, including water, electricity, and waste management, may require upgrades that towns cannot afford. Emergency services, including fire, police, and medical response, may be delayed due to staffing or geographic constraints. These issues contribute to the hidden costs of small-town living. For residents who prioritize convenience and reliability, these challenges are a significant factor in deciding whether to stay or leave. Technology and the digital divide in the modern era. Internet access is crucial. Remote work, online education, healthcare services, and entertainment depend on reliable connectivity. Many small towns lag behind in digital infrastructure. Limited bandwidth, poor mobile coverage, and outdated systems hinder residents' ability to work, study, and stay connected. The digital divide amplifies the reasons for leaving. Residents who rely on technology for career growth or education may find small towns increasingly restrictive. Environmental and geographic considerations. Some small towns face environmental challenges, such as harsh winters, flooding, or other natural risks. These conditions can make daily life more difficult and influence decisions to move. Geographic isolation also limits access to markets, services, and amenities. While some residents value the peace and natural beauty, others see these factors as barriers to opportunity and convenience. The future of small-town America is not disappearing, it is transforming. Some towns will continue to struggle with declining populations and economic limitations. Others will innovate, adapt, and thrive. Success depends on infrastructure investment, technology adoption, community engagement, and economic diversification. Towns that embrace modern realities while maintaining their core identity are most likely to succeed. Key takeaways for residents and movers. If you are considering moving to a small town, it is crucial to understand affordability may come with hidden costs. Employment opportunities may be limited, healthcare access can be challenging, education options may be constrained, social and cultural dynamics can affect quality of life. Research, visits, and conversations with residents are essential. Moving without full understanding can lead to financial, emotional, and practical challenges. Conclusion. Small towns are evolving. Life there is not what it used to be, but for many, it still offers safety, community, and a slower pace of life. If this video gave you insight into the challenges and realities of small-town life, like this video and subscribe for more in-depth explorations of American living, relocation tips, and lifestyle advice. Comment below, would you stay in a small town or move to a city? Share your story and thoughts. The truth is clear. Small-town America is changing, and understanding that change is the first step in making informed decisions about your future.